silver brown. This is Tombreck Farm. That's Ben Lawers. That's Loch Tay, Highland, Perthshire. I was born here. I grew up here, left when I was 18, came back when I was 45, which was in 1997, and I've been here since then.
My name is Sue Manning, and I came up to Tombreck Farm not long after he inherited it.
We have some sheep and some pigs and a few hens and quite a lot of trees.
I can remember that one point, there's all these people here being busy and doing that. I said, Tober, what do you actually want? What do you want from this farm? What's your vision? He said, I want to see people here. I want people to be here. And we started an organisation called the Tombreck Action Group, which I think has been really key to the development since then. And it's basically all the people around us at that time who were interested to see the future of the farm, to become a proper farm, a regenerative farm, anybody who was interested in the future of Tombreck. And we had a sort of manifesto which was we want Tombreck to firstly work as a farm, and secondly to provide employment, and thirdly to provide housing and employment and to support other people. That was our manifesto, and we had a little sort of action plan of all the things we were going to do. Because of the people needed houses first. So the first few years are very much focused on getting planning permission for houses, and because I'm an architect I could do that at no cost. It's like joining. So Tober's got his trees. We've got somebody doing the micro. Well, it's a microgreens garden. It's a scrumptious garden, and then there's they do hens, and then we've got somebody growing Scottish wildflowers, and that's just in the garden over there, and they just need a small bit of space. And in here there's going to be willow growing, and I think it's further down there. And they're not making their total incomes from it, but they're making a contribution to their incomes from a tiny bit of land. And so we want to sort of fill in obviously there's 240 acres of ground. You know, it was a stock farm, and we do need to bring some stock back in. I mean, there is stock at the moment, it's not all of ours. So we do need to work out what's the right amount of stock, what the land can safely sustain without imports. And so we need to bring, and so we need the people here to fill in those gaps in a way.
Hi there, my name's Raina Jones, and my business is called Wildflower Scotland, and I grow Scottish native wildflowers. I used to work on a small wetlands nursery down south and in Herefordshire, and I really enjoyed doing that. I've got a background in countryside management, so I wanted to carry on doing something like that. I really enjoy growing them, and I really like watching them grow. I haven't got any sort of fixed ideas about what I want to do in the future yet, but I'm looking at things like seed saving for vegetables. I'm doing some training with that kind of thing. I'm thinking about dye plants, and so I'm just sort of looking into other ways that I can expand as my daughter gets older. The reason that Tombreck attracted me as a place to do this kind of thing was, well, partly I was here already, but because it's somewhere where land's available. There's so many people with good ideas who don't have anywhere to do things, and Sue and Tober have been great at sort of negotiating, you know, how exactly that works and things like that. It's very kind of informal really, and not sort of onerous, so that's really been a really useful thing. And the community here has really helped as well. It's really nice living with other people who share similar values, but it's kind of like a small village really. We're not an intentional community as such, but we are definitely a close-knit community.
I'm Ellie, the founder and director of Scrumptious Garden, a market garden on the shore of Loch Tay. We grow a wide variety of conventional and speciality fruit and veg. So behind me you can see hyssop, we've got nasturtiums, but we've also got more conventional stuff like French beans and kohlrabi. One of the things that we do quite differently is this very intensive form of polyculture where we have lots of different plants growing in amongst each other. And that's really important because it means things like this sweet pea bring the pollinating insects to things like this blackberry, which make sure our blackberries are very productive. But it's difficult because we can't mechanise harvest, everything has to be done by hand. And so one of the things we do to mitigate that and make sure we get the most revenue we possibly can from the small space is we use every part of every plant that we possibly can. But our long-term goal is to prove that the business model works here and then translate it back to areas of multiple deprivation in places like Glasgow and other cities where there are huge amounts of derelict and underused land and people who need jobs and need access to food. And what we would really like to do is see scrumptious gardens all over the east end of Glasgow and wider.
The challenge is, the age-old one of money, the age-old one of getting older, and now, which is probably the biggest challenge of all, is getting people in. And it sounds trite to say the right people, but we've always felt all along that actually the people that are here are the right people, however they've come. Yeah, it's our life, and it obviously sustains us, not just financially, but also sort of it's emotionally as well, I suppose you could say, and sort of the joy in seeing things, which also can be heartache as well. It's not always plain sailing, but when we see these little projects taking shape, and our little projects taking shape as well, the pigs, and we've got sheep now. Since the other sheep went, we've got some sheep. The pig project's been going for years. The coons. We're going to get a couple of goats as well. See how that fits in.